Okay, what happens when the elephant sits on the clock? It's time to get a new clock. Kevin has to get a new clock. He's telling me that it was only 10:31 or something. I don't know what he's telling me. And I don't know why. I don't know what is going on over here. Sorry, there's a black screen. Pay no attention to the black screen. I'm going to try to get rid of the black screen. I'm going to try to put, well, I actually have something that I'm going to put up there. This is helicopter footage of Delphi after the day after February 14th of 2017, and it was done by RTV6. So we're going to be looking at this right now. I'm going to just get to the live here so that I can get in here and see you guys. Hello TikTok, hello Twitch, hello Facebook. Wherever you're watching, we appreciate you, and of course YouTube. Thank you very much. And make sure that I am in the live stream. Are we in the live stream? Hey Nora Woods, thank you for being a deputy rambler for 53 months. We appreciate you. So this was the day after high snow remover. He shouldn't be called innocent because of prison conditions. Deal with that later. No, who's calling him innocent because of prison conditions? Who's doing that? Why would anybody be called innocent due to prison conditions? I think guilty. When asked if he saw a bridge guy, he didn't. Everyone else did. He didn't because he is bridge guy. He normally stands and walks with his hands in his pockets, just like bridge guy. He never told his wife that he was at the bridge. Correct, snow remover, to all those things. He was faking being crazy. Yes. Hello, White Angel, Rough and Ready, Debbie D, Captain Lee fan. Oh, I'm in top chat. That's not good. I still think he's guilty, says Captain Lee. Yeah, I think he is as well. Hello, Linda. How are you? So, let's see here. Let's see. They're searching. There is the bridge. There's the pillars under the bridge. This was helicopter footage on the next day, February 14th, by a news station, RTV6. I'm trying to see something. Hi Muffy, Dragon Slayer. How are you doing? will have to leave Delphi if he gets off. Well, I don't know, Snow Remover. A lot of these big YouTubers are championing for him, especially some lawyer that's like leading the fight for his innocence. Some YouTube law tuber. Maybe they'll all get together and buy him a mansion somewhere. I don't know. They seem to be in love with the guy. So, oh, yeah, Muffy, I got some work done outside today. Got a little shipping done in here. I still have to, yeah, there's a few of them. Of course, they're making money on it, padding their pockets. Some people have no morals or ethics. That's the way it is. Why are we saying November 24th again, 2023? That's crazy. Okay, Brady, why do you think that? Brady, what Brady, enlighten me, please tell me why. Why do you think Richard Allen is innocent? Can you tell me why? Tell me why. Who's bridge guy, Brady? Who's bridge guy? Over 10,000 tips and not one person said, look at the guy from CBS. Okay. Do you ever hear about hiding in plain sight? How many cases have you heard where they said somebody was hiding in plain sight? Always, always, always. You think it... Who is Shane Evans? Hello, Michael. I haven't seen you in ages. Welcome back. Welcome back. Several people are involved. Okay, tell me a little bit about Shane Evans, Brady. Where's his picture? He looks like the bridge guy? He's the height of the bridge guy? They've searched his home and found a blue Carhartt jacket and everything, and they can place him right there at the bridge at that very time? Tell me who he is. I need you to, because tell me, no, see, you're just arguing with me instead of telling me how you can place him at the bridge. Place him at the bridge. He's the mayor, okay. So I want him to place him at the bridge. Place him at the bridge. He was the bridge guy. He shaved his beard. No, okay, you're just telling me something but not giving me any facts. Place him at the bridge at that time. Oh my gosh. I want him to answer the questions. He wants to tell me how this guy looks like him or whatever, but I want you to place him. Give me the evidence that he was at that bridge. Can you do that? I know. See, I don't want to watch him walk, and I don't want to look like what he looked like with his beard. I want you to place him at that bridge because they can place Richard Allen there, right? What about the bullet? What about the gun? That's correct, Michael. Richard Allen was at the bridge. I want our friend Brady to place Shane at the bridge. Please do that. Just tell me. We'll plot it out. If you can do that, let's go. Tell me. I'm willing to listen if you can place him there. Where is his timeline for February 13th? Where was he? Get him at the bridge. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to see something here. 1 second. I'm just looking something up here. A minute, Brady. You can get that together for me. I'll take a look at it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, watch Shane's body language in the no. I don't have to watch somebody's body language. You have to place him on that bridge. There's a lot of people that may have the stature, the stance, the gait as that person on the bridge. You have to place them there. You can't just go around picking out people and saying, look at them. Paula says, I believe he did it. However, I do not believe the prosecution proved it. Yes, I understand that, Paula, and many people agree with you. Everyone in Delphi knows who did it, and it wasn't Richard Allen. Okay, Brady. Brady, the most important thing you have to do is place him on that bridge. If you can't do that, then he wasn't there. It's like saying somebody looks a heck of a lot like Ted Bundy and that you think it was that person, but you can't place them anywhere at the scene of the crime. You can't go around doing stuff like that. It's ridiculous. So I'm asking you, I'll listen to you if you tell us how you can get him to the bridge. Give us his timeline for that day. Show me how he could be there walking on that bridge. I don't think you can do that. That's the problem. Will the state continue investigation? I'm not sure. I assume they would have to. No? It would still be an open case then. I don't think it's going to get off. Now, a lot of people are confused about Veterans Day and if they're still going to deliberate on Veterans Day. And I had heard yes. Just tell me, Brady, how you can place him at the bridge. Yeah, tomorrow's Veterans Day, correct. Okay. See, you won't answer me with the facts, right? That's all I want. Obviously, I'm not local. What does that have to do with getting him to the bridge, connecting him? You just keep, several people are involved. Okay, you keep saying that, but you're offering no proof. You're not going to offer proof, it's not valid. So, I'm sorry, I tried to listen to you, but that's okay. You can stay, I'm not going to block you, but if you want to give me proof. Oh, Laura, have you been waiting for this? Thank you for that, hon. I appreciate that. I've been waiting for this showdown. Thank you for that. He shaved his beard. Okay, and he didn't. But see, Brady, you can't. Oh, hi. We're going to just arrest this person because he shaved his beard and he didn't shave it for his wedding. So we're just saying that he's bridge guy. Oh, do you have any evidence tying him to being on the bridge? No. Do you have anything? No. Well, why are you doing this? Oh, because I just look at him and I think he walks and has his mannerisms are like bridge guy, so he's bridge guy. Come on. He wasn't even in Delphi that day, Lynn? I don't understand, Brady. You have to understand basic facts. You're not going to be able to arrest someone based on what you're saying, right? You know that. You can accuse people if they're not there. You can't tell somebody else that if somebody else did it. You can accuse people if they're not there, and you can't tell somebody else that if somebody else did it. I'm not really getting that, Black Wolf. Not till the evening. Okay. Pretty sure he was cleared of being a suspect, but they got proof that Richard Allen was there. Right. Right. Everyone, now, first of all, you know what, Brady? No one, just like they say, no one always and nevers, you can't speak for everyone because you're never going to get a unanimous thing like that. Everyone, just think of that. Right there is a false statement. Everyone in Delphi with power is a Mason, and Masons don't tell on other Masons. Okay, here we go with the Masons. Masons are not, they don't tell on other Masons. Oh my gosh. I guess no one in your family is a Mason. You're not a Mason. You think it's some kind of cult or satanic place. It's like a Rotary Club. Do you understand that? Oh my gosh, I feel like we're doing Chris Watts and NK's father all over again. Because he told them he was there. And you know this, how, if nobody's telling on anyone, Brady? Who told you that? That doesn't make a bit of sense. Yeah, okay, they don't go against each other, but they also don't. You were talking about the murder of 2 little girls, okay? I have family members that are Masons. Believe me, okay? If they think somebody killed 2 little girls, they're not going to look the other way. They're not. I'm telling you. This is crazy. It's okay. Bye-bye, Brady. See you later. I beg to differ. I'm not the one that said. I didn't say at UHP. I said they will most certainly give up other Masons, especially with the murder of 2 children. I never said that. That somebody else said that. They can prove that Richard Allen was there. Yes. Yes, I'm connected to Masons in my ancestry. Right. And snow remover, do you believe if another Mason knew that they someone in there killed 2 girls, that they're going to look the other way? Hey, Rough and Ready, thank you. Best community on YouTube. Love you, Carolyn. Thank you, Rough and Ready. Love you too. Oh, I thought you said I beg to differ, streamer, UHP. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Hey, Rough and Ready, thank you for being a member for 39 months. My grandfather was a Mason, and if he knew someone did that, he would talk. Of course, of course. You know what it is? It's like some people thrive on conspiracy. I don't know. Yes, he was there. He admits to being there. His car was parked in the CPS parking lot. We have a video that the girls took that looks like him, and they say that his voice has been confirmed to sound like him, and they're confident it's him. Now, we haven't been able to see the interrogations. I would love to be able to see them, to hear his voice, to see more about him in that kind of stressful situation. But what about what he said in the car when he said it's over when they came to his house? What about his wife who said, "You didn't tell me you were on the bridge"? What about his confessions? If it's not Richard Allen, all of Indiana is involved in a cover-up from the FBI to the U.S. Marshals. Right, Laura? What about the bullet, the gun? What about all that? Snow removers, so you think that means the Masons? No, Muffy. They're saying that the Masons... Hold on. I saw Captain Lee's. What did Snow Remover say? I doubt Snow Remover said that. I really do. Yeah, no. I don't think that's what Snow Remover means. And I can tell you, and Captain Lee fan just told you, they would not stick together when someone's murdered 2 children. It's not the way it works. They wouldn't, believe me. I've never heard that the group mentioned in this case. Yeah, the Masons comes into almost every true crime case when people are trying to just say crazy things. We heard it in Chris Watts. I've heard it in almost, oh my gosh, they're a Mason. I just heard it in another one too. I don't know what people think the Masons are. No, they wouldn't stick together, Snow Remover said, Muffy. Isn't it kind of cult-like? No, it's not. It's kind of like a Rotary Club. Do you know what that is? Or a Kiwanis Club, a Rotary Club? It's a club. They have a brotherhood and stuff like that, but it's not a cult. Many business people of all kinds belong to it. That's what it is. I think a lot of people don't know enough about it, and they just assume all these things. It's okay. I mean, they can prove that it came from Richard Allen's gun, but the defense is given a hard run. You know what I think it is, Black Wolf? I think you have a lot of these conspiracy YouTubers out here that are putting stuff out there. People are believing it. People take it as fact and think that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I still don't think he's going to be acquitted. I still have hope that I think tomorrow they will come back with a guilty verdict. And if they can't come back with a guilty verdict, I hope that they come back with a hung jury and it can be done again. But an acquittal, you know, and then after that, you just got to pray to God. If you pray that God helps, you know, justice be done and for Libby and Abby, because I don't know. Yeah, Lynn, I know that a lot of them are for the defense, but a lot of them are for clicks and views. And as someone who has a lot of lawyers in her family, I do, okay? And I don't think the lawyers in my family are sleazy and would do stuff like that, but I'm sorry, there's a reason you hear the things you do about lawyers. And not all of them are ethical. Not all of them are, you know, as with anything. And so, yeah, I mean, you have to also think, I do wonder why these lawyers are on YouTube instead of working out in the field. Did something happen? You know, was something wrong? I don't know. Why? So I don't know. How do I hadn't know nothing about their ethics, and would they just say something for clicks and views? A lot of people do that who are not lawyers, okay? A lot of people go against the grain, and people watch them even if they're train wrecks, right? Maybe if I sat here and I said, oh, I know you're not going to believe this, but this little old lady that lives over here, I know, you know, and made up some concocted story, but I seem to present it well, I probably have people over here listening to that. They can't get a job. See, Lynn, I wonder about that. I do, because we know one that just got busted for drugs, right, and a bunch of stuff happening, and it's like, up prior to that, I heard like, oh, you know, you should contact this lawyer on YouTube, this guy, maybe he could help with this, that, or the other thing, and then you find out he gets arrested, and you look at I never looked at this guy, but he was doing like drugs, or looks like he was under the influence of drugs right on his panel, and so I don't know. Little old lady from Pasadena, yeah. I mean, it's the Wild West out here. Some people do things for any reason whatsoever. Hello, Scooter. You know, Scooter could say, her husband did this, right? She'd be pretty convincing if she went on and said that she thinks her husband did this and tried to tie him to it. Who know? You know what I mean? People can do all kinds of things for clicks and views. Doesn't mean it's right. And I think a lot of people know right now that a lot of the law tubers are going for the defense, and they're earning thousands and thousands of dollars in super chats every night. And they're getting clicks and views and money is a powerful thing, isn't it? Hey, Recliner Detective, got a membership. Thank you for gifting the membership, Snow Remover. 5 memberships. Kimberly got a membership. Congratulations. Who got here? Maisie Shiloh is gifted a membership. Long Island Sounder gifted a membership. Poppy gifted a membership. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, you know. So that doesn't say that much. I mean, Brady comes in here and just throws some guy's name out, but can't place him. Richard Allen's lawyer is the nastiest, corrupt lawyer in the planet. Which one? Rossi or Baldwin? Which one? Which one, Black Wolf? You're too tired to type, Scooter? Hi, Tina Medley. How are you? Hello, Chris Ree. Baldwin, and yeah, I just know, it made it sound like it was just one. Masonic secrets are things pertaining to Masonic Lodge. In my case, Local 715 in Carabel, Florida. Anything else is game. I'm forbidding to talk about being born and raised. That's it. Right, I get ya. I get you, UHP. You're leaving, Muffy? How come you're leaving? What's wrong, Muffy? Something wrong? You don't like us anymore? Well, it would be better, Valerie, than an acquittal. I think an acquittal would be worse. Hung jury, they can do it again. Acquittal, that's the end. The judge ruled that the defense team in the Delphi murders case was sloppy, negligent, and incompetent. Yes, I understand that. And then they took them off. They got some public defenders, and then they put them back on the case again. Oh, you're falling asleep? Okay, Muffy. Get some rest. Sorry, I'm just joking with you. Get some rest. Baldwin leaked the photos. Yeah, they were put on a conference table, right? And he blames an intern for taking them. And Black Wolf says, well, Richard Allen's attorney is not that clean. He's a good nipper later. Okay. So, tomorrow, does anybody know with Veterans Day, are they definitely going to be, see, I heard they're going to be deliberating, but then somebody said the courts are going to be closed. How are they going to go if they have any questions or if there's a verdict? So are the Indiana courts closed tomorrow for Veterans Day? Is the jury going to be off another day, or what's going on? Let me see. If there was an acquittal, you wouldn't be surprised if he would sue because of the extended... Yeah, he could. He could, sure. They're going to be Wait, they are... You have to be more specific, Scooter. They are closed. They are going to be deliberating. What? No, they are open. Okay. They will be. That's what I thought. I thought shouldn't say we, because I'm not... I thought they were going to be deliberating. Offices are closed. Thank you, Greg P. The judge will be available, I'm sure, for questions, right? Do you think we're going to have a verdict tomorrow? I think we're going to have a verdict tomorrow. I'm going to be hopeful that we're going to have a verdict tomorrow. If we don't have a verdict tomorrow, I think it's, somebody reminded that it was 9 days for a Scott Peterson guilty verdict, that it took 9 days. So it doesn't mean that there's definitely a problem. Maybe there's one holdout. Maybe there's two holdouts that just want to go over some more information. Maybe these are the kind of people that, really, really, really want to be sure. I don't think we should be getting too upset now. They can still come back with that guilty verdict. So, and I think that tomorrow, I just think being that they asked for what they did, whoever, maybe somebody wants to really listen to the voice of the bridge guy and the interrogation. And that to me is like they're just trying to be certain. Paula, you think it's going to be a hung jury. Okay. I think if they're making some progress, it can be as long as they need. A lot of times juries will come in and say they're deadlocked, and the judge will send them back and say, I want you to go back and try again. So they can, as long as they're making some progress, they're going to keep going. And even if they say they're deadlocked, the judge can still tell them to go back and try to come to some, try to see what they could do. I believe that happened in that Maya case. I believe they are close and decide. Yeah, I think so too, Captain Lee, and decided to sleep on it. Yeah. Well, Thursday is when they started deliberations, but they didn't have the whole day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday wasn't a whole day. So it really hasn't been that long. It just seems that because our juries have been coming up with their verdicts pretty quickly in most cases, but this is a little bit of a harder one where people could be divided. It could be just one person that's a holdout, Could be two people that are holdout. But what did Scooter say? Hi, Alyssa. How are you? All right, so let's take a look at something. I want to go back to see. Just want to go back to an older, like sometimes in crimes, I like to see if I can go back to an article or something written back in like 2017. Okay, like right around there. Just sometimes. Okay. So they're resuming Monday. Custom range. Let's go over here. $213. Let me try this then. Okay. See what comes up. Okay, so this is something from February 16th of 2017. The bodies of two missing Indiana girls were found in the woods near a creek, have been identified, and their deaths, hold on a minute. And their deaths are being investigated as a double homicide. Autopsy results confirmed the victims are Liberty Libby German, 14, and Abigail Abby Williams, 13. The bodies were discovered by search volunteers Tuesday along a railroad bridge near Deer Creek in Delphi, about 70 miles northwest of Indianapolis, according to the Carroll County Sheriff. Okay. On Monday, the teens were dropped off to go hiking, but when they did not show up to be picked up by family members, police were notified. Soon after, a search party was formed of community volunteers and several law enforcement agencies. This is believed to be the first double homicide investigation in Carroll County's recent history, said State Trooper Sergeant Kim Riley. Police are not releasing the cause and manner of death of the teens at this time. Excuse me. Police provided a photograph of a man who was on the Delphi historic trails about the time that Abigail and Liberty were walking. They're asking the help from the public to identify him so he can be contacted regarding what he may have seen. Investigators are proceeding with caution and not calling the individual in the photograph a suspect. There is no suspect in custody at this time, police said. There is someone out there that did this crime, and we're going to track them down, said Sheriff Toby Liazenby. Folks should continue with business as usual, but be more mindful and watch your surroundings a little closer. Okay, so that was one of the very early articles. Now, here's something from the news station that did that helicopter video. It says authorities positively identified the two girls. An hour after Delphi Assistant Fire Chief Curtis Borden told RTV6 two missing 13-year-old girls, one was 14, one was 13, from Carroll County were found, calling it not good. Authorities said at a press conference 2 bodies had been found in the area that the girls went missing. Sergeant Kim Riley with the Indiana State Police wouldn't go so far as to identify the bodies as the girls in a press conference, but they do suspect foul play. The girls were supposed to meet at the bridge to be picked up later in the day, but they never showed up. The girls were last seen in a photo posted to Liberty German Snapchat showing Williams walking along the bridge. The 2 bodies were found near Deer Creek, about a mile east of the Freedom Bridge, east of town. Police are investigating the discovery as a crime scene. A search party comprised of local police, sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and DNR officers was formed to canvass the area where the girls were last seen. At Tuesday's press conference, Riley said the search was scaled back. The family asked us to thank the communities around Delphi and the people here in Delphi for assisting and attempting to locating the 2 girls who were missing here earlier. Okay, I think people in the community are smart enough in our community to draw their own conclusions about what they should feel and shouldn't feel, said Delphi Police Chief Steve Mullins. Our people are very smart. We have a very good community, and they are very strong, and they are very able to draw their own conclusions about this whole situation very successfully. Chief Mullins said the discovery and search for the girls has had a terrible impact on the community. He said, and I quote, "I know it's had a terrible effect on our people, and we are grieved. This sort of thing would happen in our community. As for who may be responsible, Chief Mullins wouldn't elaborate. The Delphi Community Schools Corporation sent a letter home with students on Tuesday that said the bodies found were 2 of their missing school students. And the letter said, and I quote, "It is with heavy hearts that the School Corporation Day comes to an end. It is our understanding that the 2 bodies found today were those of our 2 missing Delphi Community Middle School students." The letter also said that counselors and local pastors will be available, and all students and staff while they deal with the tragic situation. Okay, I want to look at, there was something else I wanted to look at that was, oh my goodness, what was it? I was just going to say I was going to go take a look at that. Oh, I wanted to see about Richard Allen and his previous employment and some stuff that I've heard. I'm going to see. Okay, let's see. See, we have to make sure that this is like true. Because as we saw in other cases, people get insiders, people get people that say they work with such and such person. It's got to be real. Let's see. So here they're saying that someone came forward, and a cousin of mine worked with him in Illinois at Walmart during college and was super freaked out when he was arrested. She describes Rick very much the same way as Joe Lynn. She also said she was but wasn't surprised he did something so heinous because her gut told her something major definitely wasn't right with him. But this is somebody on a message board. And I hate to tell you, but there's a lot of people that frequent these types of boards pretend to be someone that either knows the victims or the suspect, or they had some interaction with the suspect, and the reason they do it is because they do it because they get attention. That's the thing. You've got to take some things with a grain of salt until you're sure 100%. Someone said, I think there are a lot of people who have similar stories. I get that vibe just by looking at him. The YouTube comments were pretty interesting. Notice how none of his friends are publicly supporting him. Now, somebody told me the other day that he has friends supporting him. If he really was transferred due to inappropriate behavior towards women, then shame on Walmart for moving him isn't a solution. His wife does have a history of standing by her man through some pretty awful allegations. Way back when, soon after he was arrested, there was a long thread on Reddit or Facebook with women chiming in about how creepy or pervy he is. And sneaky. Okay, well, do we know it's true, though? Okay, let's see. Trying to see. Okay, so somebody's talking about that person. Ugh, she comes off as very credible to me. And yes, I know what she's talking about when she means she got very uncomfortable when he was in the car with her at the drive-thru. It's a vibe that runs through you. Your brain is signaling the nerve endings in your body, and that's why the hair on your arms will stand up. It's horrifying that he followed them into the bathroom. Someone said, what you're saying is very true. Had a friend of a friend show up at my house years ago. I got bad vibes. I don't know why. Then my dog, a boxer, started growling at the guy for no reason. The dog was the sweetest dog ever, had never growled at anyone, so when she growled, I knew something was up. I still wonder to this day why I felt like that and why my very friendly and gentle dog growled at him. Never saw the guy again, so I guess I'll never know why it happened, but there must have been something creepy about him or it wouldn't have happened. It stuck with me all these years. Okay, let's see. They're talking about dogs, so... The sad thing is, I've worked with one of these guys at just about every job I've worked at. Me too, unfortunately, someone else said. Someone said, I would be surprised if it doesn't come out that R.A. was a creep. Normal people just don't wake up one day and decide to brutally murder two girls. I want to know what his cell phone history looked like. I wonder if they were able to pull the history on all the phones that were recovered from his home. Oh, you mean those cell phones that, according to geofence data, do not back up his 12 to 1:30 p.m. claims? The geofence data his defense attorneys are trying to get excluded from evidence? Time will tell. Somebody said that he said something like, what to these girls? You don't like hanging out with me? Now, it's not like I'm going to kidnap you or something. Okay, so they said, do we really know if this is a person who knew Rick or worked with him? If yes, I apologize, but I don't know how we verify their claims. Okay, so someone said there is someone else who frequents these boards often and claimed to work with Richard Allen. Said he was their shift manager 2009 to 2012. Said he was a nice guy, but then got kind of douchey and he made sexual comments to women. Again, how are they vetting this person and the message boards? Exactly. If she is telling the truth, that still doesn't make him a killer. I'm not defending him. I'm not defending his alleged behavior, but maybe he followed them into the girls' restroom because he knew they were a couple and felt like they wouldn't mind him checking for stolen merchandise while they were in there. The person who made the video was obviously close and felt comfortable around him, because if he was that creepy, why would you hang out with him at his home? To me, that shows they were all friends and were probably comfortable with his alleged sexual comments. Asking about a threesome does not make you a killer. If they were in fact bothered by his comments or behavior, why not ask him to stop? By not speaking up to say stop, he probably took it as acceptable behavior. Again, we don't know who is making these claims, and they offer no supporting documents to back up their story. Okay, so what I'm interested in, okay, what I want to see are interviews by the police. Just like you saw when we got the discovery from Chris Watts and they went to his coworkers, you heard them interviewed and you knew 100% they were the coworkers. That's what I want to see on Richard Allen. Are those some of the ones that mysteriously got lost? We don't know, because they don't want us to hear anything in this case, and who knows what they're going to release in the discovery, when and if they release it. But that's the only thing I'll believe. I'm not going to believe a message board. You could take it, file it with a grain of salt in your head, but when it comes down to it, you don't know who those people are. And you see it here. We have people that come on the internet and they pretend a lot of things, and they're not anything that they pretend they are. So that gets filed with a grain of salt. All right, I'm going to go back to looking at more stuff from the time the girls were found. Okay, so let's look at this now. This is also from 2017, and this is going to be about the crime scene. The property owner where the bodies of the two missing Delphi girls were found is speaking out as police continue to search for the killer. The gruesome discovery was made on Ron Logan's 40-acre lot by a neighbor who volunteered to help with the search. And here's the thing I want to just explain to everyone. Do you know how they say that no one but the killer knew anything about how the girls were killed or this and that? Can you please understand that they were found by a friend of Ron Logan's, right? By a neighbor who volunteered to help with the search. That's one neighbor. The neighbor that found them, do you think he didn't see that their throats were slashed? Do you think he didn't see the sticks? Okay, one neighbor. I don't know this neighbor from Adam. But in 5 years, let's bring it back to 2022, are you saying this neighbor doesn't talk to a wife, a sister, a brother, a friend? Somehow, imagine him processing this scene. I think it would be absolutely impossible to keep that under wraps. At some point, you're going to trust somebody to tell them. And it's like that old commercial, right? I told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and so on and so on and so. That's just one person that found them. Now think about any of the other officers, any of the other search teams, anyone else, and think about who they could have told. So when somebody says, and I'm not saying he's innocent, but what I'm trying to say is, just because someone says, oh my gosh, he knew the throats were slashed, he has to be the killer. Now, if that's not what cinches it for me, because that can come from a lot of places. It can. You know what I mean? That's what I'm just saying. Nothing is a secret. I mean, it all comes out, and you have something as heinous as that you see. People have to talk to somebody. You can even talk to a therapist, and maybe a therapist you don't know, and I know they're not supposed to, but in something like this, they could think maybe they even just told their sister. Maybe they blurted something out. You don't know. Okay. The gruesome discovery was made on Ron Logan's 40-acre lot by a neighbor who volunteered to help with the search. I'm going to take you down and show you everything on how they could have got here. You are going to be just as confused as I was as how these 2 little girls got here from the high bridge with all of this rough terrain without somebody making them come here, said Logan. The discovery was less than a mile from the spot where the missing teens were last seen. Logan's property is a crime scene filled with investigators, the FBI, and dive teams. There were hundreds of cars and vehicles and generator trucks that kept the lights going. They had the whole woods lit up like a football field, Logan said. Officials searched every inch of Logan's 40 acres and the woods behind the nearby Morning Heights Cemetery, which is just across the stream from the Monon High Bridge, the last spot the girls were seen. Right now, the suspect or suspects who killed the girls is on the run. Logan has lived on the property for 50 years, and he believes it would have been a tough area for the girls to hike through. And he said, and I quote, "The High Bridge is right across the creek here, and it runs all the way down across the creek, and the land joins together. The spot where they join together is the last area where there were photographs of the girls. They would have had to come over through this territory, and not an easy trip." End quote. Police are processing the evidence gathered, hoping for clues that lead to the person who killed 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German. Although the scene is clear, Logan tells us his property will never be the same. And I quote, he says, "I can't imagine how something like this would happen here because we have had nothing. Nothing has happened here." End quote. Officials are continuing to sift through hundreds of tips in the case as they search for the killer. They are asking anyone who recognizes the man in this photo. And then this, of course, is going to be the photo of the bridge guy, right? Right here. Okay. And let's see what else we can find. All right, so let me okay, this is a map published on February 14th of 2017. On a High Bridge Trail. Okay, where's the here's the Deer Creek. Here's Cemetery. Here's West 300 North. There's the Freedom Bridge. There's the Mary Gerard Nature Reserve. And here's the West 300 North, right? Okay. So it says here, let's see. During a search, police found 2 bodies farther along Deer Creek. They were found about a mile east of the Freedom Bridge, which is part of the Hoosier Heartland Highway. Okay, hang on. Let's see what else we have. Okay, here's another thing. The quick thinking of one of the 2 murdered Delphi teens may give law enforcement the necessary clue needed to find the girl's killer. The bodies of 14-year-old Liberty German and 13-year-old Abigail Williams were found on Valentine's Day, a day after they failed to return from a hike near the Delphi Historic Trail in Carroll County. On Wednesday, Indiana State Police released an audio recording that was found on Liberty German's cell phone, a 3-second clip of a male voice saying, "Down the hill." Indiana State Police Sergeant Tony Slocum calls German a hero, and I quote, "At that age, to have the presence of mind to turn on her video system on her cell phone and record some of the evidence we've obtained is outstanding on her part. It might be the piece that helps us capture the person or persons who murdered the 2 young ladies." Indiana State Police had released a photo of a suspect wearing a blue jacket, blue jeans, and a brown hat or hood. State officials revealed during a press conference Wednesday the image had been found on Liberty German's cell phone. Officials say the voice could be from a different person than the man that's shown in the previously released photo. There's no telling if the person was local, knew the girls, or contacted them previously. The FBI is assisting the state police with the search. Let's see. Okay, so FBI agent Greg Massa implores people to not rationalize away any hunches and to regard people's actions with suspicion. Did the individual travel unexpectedly? Did they change their appearance? Did they shave their beard, cut their hair, change the color of their hair? Massa said to take note of anyone who went missing or changed plans around the time of the murders. Please do not rationalize tips away. Rationalize what you think might not be important away by thinking, he would never do that to another human being. The public is encouraged to submit any tips. Okay. State police said they're choosing not to release any more information due to the risk of soliciting phony tips. Okay. I'm just trying to go down the hill. Let's see. Okay, let's see. This is February 20th of 2017. The girls went missing last Monday after going hiking. The girls were reported missing by a family member on Monday evening after they were dropped off to go hiking near the Mononhai Bridge and abandoned railroad. Liberty and Abigail were familiar with the community trails, which were popular with locals. She went hiking often, Mike Patty, Liberty's grandfather, said of his granddaughter, who he raised alongside his wife Becky. We talked all the time about safety. It was something that I stressed, but I guess not enough. During the hike, Liberty posted a photo to Snapchat of Abigail walking on the bridge alone. The friends were supposed to be picked up by family later that afternoon, but they never showed up to the pickup location. While police initially did not suspect foul play in the girls' disappearance, on Tuesday they said their deaths were homicides. We are investigating this as a crime scene, said Sergeant Kim Riley from the Indiana State Police. Police have not revealed the cause of death. A man photographed near the scene was identified as a suspect. Okay, last Wednesday, 2 photos of a man who was seen walking along the trail at around the time that Abigail and Liberty were there on Sunday. State Police announced the man pictured is the main suspect in the girl's death. Trying to put a photo of him there. Hold on. There we go. That's what I want there. Okay. He's not just someone we want to talk to. We consider him a suspect in these murders, said Sergeant Tony Slocum. We're officially calling him a suspect versus a subject we're looking to speak to. He's going to be our main suspect at this time. The photos appear to show a white man dressed in light blue jeans and a blue jacket over a brown shirt. Since the 2 photos of him were released, the man in question hasn't contacted authorities. That doesn't make him a suspect by not contacting us. It's the totality of the evidence we've been developing so far that leads us to that, Slocum said. All right. We're over this. Okay, let's see. Why didn't, hang on. Okay. Okay, so it says here that Liberty German posted a photo of Abby Williams looking somber on a railroad bridge in Delphi, Indiana. The Snapchat post marked the last time either girl was seen alive. Another photo shared that afternoon showed the abandoned bridge where the girls were dropped off. They were reported missing after they failed to return to the bridge as planned. Their bodies were found in a wooded area on Tuesday, about 3/4 of a mile from the bridge. Authorities have not revealed the cause of their death, citing an ongoing investigation. The investigation is still in its baby steps, and we don't want to put that information out yet. Okay, let me see. Hi, 61. Hi, Maureen Gunn. Hi, little lady. The planks on the bridge affect how people walk. Yes. Hi, cute kitty kitty. Oh, thank you, cute kitty kitty. I paint it black. They can't charge Ron Logan because he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Maureen Gunn, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Okay, so let's see what else we can go back and see. Indiana girls, man in photos, now main suspect, search warrant served at Indiana home. Okay, let's see what happens here. FBI agents raided a farmhouse in the hunt for the killer who murdered the 2 teenage girls hours after they posted a haunting last photo from an abandoned railway bridge while hiking in the Indiana woods. Police and federal agents executed a search warrant at an Indiana home Thursday night as part of an ongoing investigation. Indiana State Police Sergeant Kim Riley said the warrant was obtained for a home in the 11,000 block of Bicycle Bridge Road outside Delphi, 60 miles northwest of Indianapolis. A person living on the property was interviewed, but no arrests were made and no solid evidence was found during the search. It was revealed on Friday. So this is the area. This is the house. Let me put this up here. Right there. Evening search, police and FBI served a search warrant at this home in the 11,000 block of Bicycle Bridge Road outside Delphi, Indiana, in connection to the murders of the 2 teens. Okay, and here is another photo. Tipped off, police were led to the property by tips that have been coming in since Liberty German and Abby Williams were found dead on Tuesday. An old, mud-spattered sedan sits on the property near Delphi where police served the search warrant. So there we've got that, the sedan. A small metal outbuilding or shed is seen in the yard of the farmhouse next to a barbecue. Officers with the Indiana State Police, deputies, and FBI took place in Thursday night search, which, according to Sergeant Riley, may be the first of many. As more tips trickle in, police plan to search other properties in the hope of finding clues. Okay, so it says final steps. This is the Delphi Historic Trail near the Monon High Bridge where the murdered teenagers went hiking. And then we've got this. This right here. Coming across there, yeah. This is the Deer Creek River. The girls' bodies were found on Tuesday about 50 feet from the Deer Creek River. Police have not disclosed the exact spot they were found or how they were murdered. At the moment, we've talked to everybody that we feel has been through there, and none of them are coming up as a suspect, Riley said. Everyone is still a suspect, but they went from high on the list to low on the list. Police have no longer posted at access points to the trail on Thursday after FBI specialists spent Tuesday and Wednesday gathering evidence. And they were saying back then that this bore a striking resemblance to the movie Stand By Me when they went off on that hike alone. Okay, let's see what else we have. Police release the audio. We've seen that. Unknown suspect. A reward. Okay. Police say murdered Delphi teen recorded a video of the suspect. The FBI keeps saying they're posting stuff for tips. And there'll be the full video. So weird. How is this happening? Oh, that was updated again. Okay, that's not what I want to see. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. We've gone 2017. Now I'm going to go back to when he was arrested, okay? Okay, let's see what happens there. All right, so let's see. October 31st. 2022. There's this article, so let's see what they said back then, right? Police have arrested a suspect in the brutal 2017 murders of two 8th grade girls from Delphi, Indiana, the first major break in the case that has captivated national attention for nearly 6 years. This case is perhaps the best known for the fact that the girls, Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty Libby German, 14, documented their final moments before they were killed near a hiking trail in a town of 3,000 people. On October 26th, detectives took 50-year-old Richard M. Allen, a local Delphi resident, into custody at the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post. Allen was formally charged with murdering Abby and Libby on October 28th. So this is going to be a quote from the Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter. And I quote, "Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation." Not much is known about Abby and Libby's final moments, though authorities know the girls were last seen walking across an old railroad bridge at 2:07 p.m. on the day of their murder. Based on German's chilling last Snapchat post, in the post, Abby is walking down an abandoned railroad track with no other people seen. Just 2 days after the girls disappeared, police released a grainy photograph found on Libby's cell phone of a man whom they wanted to speak with. Police identified him as a suspect on February 19th. On February 22nd, officials released an audio recording of a man saying, "Down the hill," with leaves heard crunching in the background. Police said it was likely the voice belonged to the man in the photo, and they pleaded for anyone who recognized the voice to come forward. National media outlets widely reported the case, causing many to share theories and even podcast episodes dedicated to the case. The FBI even launched a nationwide digital billboard campaign with photos of the victims and suspects shared throughout 6,000 billboards across 46 states. In April of 2019, 2 years after the girl's death, police released a 1-second video from Libby's cell phone of a man who was walking behind the girls along the railroad bridge the girls had visited, again asking the public for help to identify the suspect. "We believe you are hiding in plain sight." Well, that's exactly what Richard Allen was doing, right? Hiding in plain sight. "For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have." Officials rapidly responded to Abby and Libby's murders, creating the Delphi Homicide Task Force, which was made up of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. For years, investigators relied on public tips. Many people complied, and police announced they received around 18,000 tips just 4 months after the girls first went missing. Authorities relied on as many as 40 to 50 officers in the early months of the case. In July 2017, investigators worked with people who were in the area when the girls were first missing to release a sketch and other potential descriptions of the person of interest. What led to Richard Allen's arrest? It remains unclear what led police to arrest Allen. Police have released no details of the evidence against him or how they centered on him as a suspect. Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McLeland told reporters that Allen entered a not guilty plea. He is being held at the White County Jail without bond. The probable cause affidavit that led to his arrest is currently sealed, and McLeland said the court will later decide when the affidavit should remain closed. We are going to continue a very methodical and committed approach to ensure that if any other person had involvement in these murders in any way, that person or person will be held accountable. We will not jeopardize its integrity by releasing or discussing documentation or information before the appropriate time. Allen's pretrial hearing will be held on January 13th, and a trial date is set for March 20th. We know that didn't happen, right? Property records for Allen, a Delphi resident for the last 16 years, show that he lives 2.5 miles away from the trail where Abby and Libby were found. Police say he had been hiding in plain sight throughout the investigation. Mike and Becky Patty, Libby's grandparents, told reporters that Allen apparently worked at a local drugstore as a pharmacy tech. Though the relationship between the suspect and the victims remains unclear, Becky confirmed that the suspect had previously processed photos of the girls for free at his job. Allen has had no other substantial criminal charges, as he has only had 2 speeding tickets on record. As members of the Carroll County community, we remain devastated by these murders, and our hearts go out to the German and Williams families. We are shocked and saddened to learn that one of our store employees was arrested as a suspect in these crimes, and that came from a spokesperson for the pharmacy store where Allen works. We stand ready to cooperate with the police investigation in any way we can. Okay, so that was that when he was first arrested. See what else. Okay, on November 30th, 2022, we're going to hear about the bullet here in this one. An unspent bullet found between the bodies of the 2 teenage girls who were murdered in 2017 had been cycled through a pistol owned by the suspect in their deaths, according to the court documents that an Indiana judge ordered released on Tuesday. Court records were sealed last month at the request of the local prosecutor after Richard Matthew Allen, 50 years old, of Delphi, Indiana, was arrested October 28th and charged with 2 counts of murder in the murder of Liberty German, 14, and Abigail Williams, 13. The redacted probable cause affidavit released Tuesday states investigators seized Allen's .40 caliber pistol during an October 13th search of his home. Testing determined that an unspent bullet found within 2 feet of one of the girls' bodies had been cycled through Allen's pistol. Investigators determined that Allen had purchased that gun in 2001. Allen said in an October 26th interview with police that he had never allowed anyone to borrow the gun. Requests from the public and the media for additional information in the case were granted Tuesday by the Allen County Judge Fran Gull's order. The murders have haunted Delphi, a northwestern Indiana city of about 3,000, where Allen lived and worked at a local CVS store. The judge wrote that, and I quote, "The public interest is not served by prohibiting access to the documents, and that witnesses' safety and Allen's personal information could be protected by redacting some parts of the records. Indiana law allows courts to withhold records in extraordinary circumstances." Several news organizations, including the Associated Press, had filed a brief with the court urging Gull to unseal the affidavit and charging information that detail the evidence that authorities have linking Allen to the murders. The affidavit says investigators reviewing prior tips found Allen had been interviewed by an officer in 2017. At the time, Allen said that on February 13, 2017, the day the girls went missing, he was walking on a trail when he saw 3 females at a bridge called the Freedom Bridge, but did not speak to them. He told the officer that as he walked from that bridge to the Monenhigh Bridge, an abandoned railroad bridge, he did not see anyone, but that he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked. Allen was interviewed again by investigators on October 13th. Hold on a minute, this is some things here in my way. Okay, so that was, what day was that they just indicated? October 13th, and okay. Allen was interviewed again by investigators on October 13th and repeated he had seen 3 juvenile girls during his walk. He said he walked across the Monenhigh Bridge's first platform, and then he walked back. He sat on a bench on the trail, and then he left. A relative had dropped off Liberty and Abigail, known as Libby and Abby, at a trail near the bridge close to their hometown of Delphi. Hours later, the girls failed to show up at their pickup spot, and the next day their bodies were found in a rugged area near the trail. According to the affidavit, Allen said he'd never been to the location where the unspent bullet was found between the girls' bodies, and that he did not know the owner of that property, and he had no explanation as to why a round that was cycled through his firearm would be in that location. The document redacted the names of the witnesses, including the 3 juveniles who said they were on the trail on February 13, 2017, and saw a male walking towards the bridge who was kind of creepy. One of the juveniles said she said hi to the male, but he just glared at them. Another witness told police that she was traveling along a Carroll County road that day when she saw a man walking away from the Monenhigh Bridge wearing clothes that looked muddy and bloody. He appeared to have been in a fight, the witness said. Before Tuesday, state police had revealed incremental details about the investigations into the 2017 murders. The deaths of Libby and Abby were ruled homicides, but police have never disclosed how they died or what evidence they gathered. The probable cause affidavit does not state how the girls died. Within days of the killings, investigators released 2 grainy photos of a suspect walking on the abandoned railroad bridge and an audio recording of a man believed to be the suspect saying, "Down the hill." Earlier this month, prosecutors have said they have good reason to believe more than one person is connected to the murders. They did not elaborate. Authorities also released an initial sketch of the suspected killer in July of 2017 and then another in 2019 April. Based on this cell phone video recorded by Libby showing a suspect on the bridge, the affidavit states investigators believe Allen was the man seen in the bridge video. Let's see. As the male suspect approaches victims 1 and 2, one of the victims mentions a gun. Near the end of the video, a male is heard telling the girls, "Guys, down the hill." The affidavit states the girls then begin to proceed down the hill and the video ends. It adds the victims were forced down the hill by Richard Allen to the location where they were murdered. Tuesday, Allen's attorneys filed a motion to relocate the case out of Carroll County, arguing that it would be difficult to form an impartial jury there because of the intense attention surrounding the case and because the county is small. Andrew Baldwin, an attorney for Allen, said last week that the then sealed affidavit was flimsy and that our client is the wrong guy. Baldwin's office said he would not comment. Okay, so that's... Let's see. Indiana teens. Okay, let's see what this says from May 17th of 2022. A search warrant reveals new details of the investigation into the 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Liberty German. According to a search warrant obtained, an FBI agent wrote that she had probable cause to search Ron Logan's property in connection with the murders and believed evidence may have been found there. The agent wanted to search Logan's home, outbuildings, and vehicle for anything pertaining to the teens' murders, including forensic evidence, hair, body fluids, guns, and cutting instruments. The FBI also sought electronic devices and storage media, according to the search warrant. This is before he was arrested. Oh my gosh, Allen. Logan owned the property where the girls' bodies were found. Investigators conducted a search of the property March 17, 2017. The warrant provides additional details about the investigation, some of which have remained unknown to the public. On February 13, 2017, this would happen. The girls were murdered that day, right? And there was a frantic search, and they were found on the 14th. The girls' bodies were discovered on property owned by Ron Logan, about 1,400 feet from Logan's residence. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. According to the search warrant, because of the amount of blood, investigators believed that the perpetrator would have gotten blood on their hands or the clothing. The murderer likely took a souvenir from the crime scene, according to the document, and it appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. The redacted search warrant didn't specify what was missing and noted that the rest of their clothing was recovered. There were no signs of a struggle or fight. The agent suspected the murderer physically removed something or took photos to memorialize the crime scene. Crime scene investigators also recovered unknown fibers and unidentified hairs. The agent wrote that Logan's physical build appeared to be consistent with that of the man seen on the video. Women interviewed about Logan said he'd been violent with them in the past, with one remarking that she was frightened of him. Both women told investigators they thought Logan was the man in the video. Another key piece of information, Logan's voice is not inconsistent with that of the person in the video, according to the document. The warrant noted that Logan owned numerous weapons, including handguns and knives. Police knew about the items because they'd searched his home as part of the investigation into a probation violation. The search was limited to firearms and only included his main home. The search warrant revealed that Logan lied about his alibi. According to the document, Logan told investigators a friend picked him up from his home on February 13th between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. so he could go to an aquarium store in Lafayette. He contacted a family member on the morning of February 14th and instructed them to tell the police about the trip. He also asked the family member to say they returned between 5 and 5:30 p.m. Investigators did find a receipt from the store dated February 13th with a checkout time of 5:21 p.m. During a March 6, 2017 search related to the probation violation, it would take Logan about 30 minutes to get from the store to his home, putting the 5 p.m. and 5:30 return timeline in doubt. Investigators believe Logan lied about his alibi, making statements that were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive. Let's see. The person who Logan said had driven him to the aquarium confirmed the trip when with an investigator on March 7th 2 days later, during an interview with a different investigator, the individual told police he lied during the March 7th interview because Logan had asked him to do so. The person said Logan had never asked him to lie in the past. Investigators said it appeared that Logan asked the family member to lie about the alibi before any crime had been discovered. Police also learned that Logan drove a pickup truck to the transfer station in Delphi to drop off trash on February 13th, likely between 11:53 a.m. and 11:58 a.m. The admission led to the investigation into his probation violation, as Logan was prohibited from driving. Cell phone tower data showed that Logan's phone was in Delphi in the area near the Monon High Bridge on the afternoon of February 13th. Investigators say a text message sent from his phone at 7:56 p.m. on February 13th indicated the phone was likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of the murder scene. Just days after the murders, Logan led reporters on a tour of his property and took them to the crime scene. He said he lived on the property for 50 years and couldn't fathom how the girls could have reached the area where they were found. Logan died in January. He has never been named as a suspect or charged in connection with the Delphi murders. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Let's see. What do you think about Logan? Let's see what's going on here. The whole Delphi case is jumbled and effed up. So confusing sometimes. White Angel says, I knew it was a mess, but didn't know it was this messy. Ugh. I think the gun will do him in. Hi, little lady. High 61 says, Vegas was also a training area for pilots and bomber crews during World War II. High 61 says, it says Bugsy Siegel was driving force behind the development of Las Vegas Strip. Later, Bugsy would be shot and killed at his house in L.A. Okay. So what do you think about, you remember when they were talking with Logan? So, could he have done something with that cell phone during the time where they said the phone turned on or something? I don't know. He was right there by the crime scene, right? It was right by his house, his residence, but I don't know. Let's look a little more into Ron Logan. Logan changed his story back then. Well, let's take a look at Ron Logan. We checked this out a while ago. I remember something about checking this out a while ago. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. FBI search warrant reveals new details about the Delphi murder scene and what the killer of Abby Williams and Libby German may have taken from the property. I-Team 8 has pieced together new information about Ronald Logan, the man targeted in that search warrant. In the report, the FBI said Logan lied to investigators about what he was doing on the day the girls disappeared. The I-Team 8's archives have an interview with Logan in the days after the girls were found. And I quote, Monday afternoon, I was in Lafayette Aquarium World. getting tropical fish for my aquarium. So when I came home, one of the neighbors asked for permission to come back here and search for the missing girls, and that's the first time I heard anything about it. So I fooled with my tropical fish the whole time the search was going on Monday night, but then they didn't find them around Tuesday until noon or 1 or whatever it was. Investigators believe that Logan asked his cousin to lie and tell police that he drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette on the afternoon of February 13th, 2017. Police would eventually arrest Logan for violating his probation on charges of DUI and driving on a suspended license. He appeared in court on March 13th on that charge. The next day, March 14th, an Indiana State Police spokesperson tweeted, reports connecting Ronald Logan to the Delphi murders is false. Probation violation, no connection to murder investigation. However, in a search warrant, in a search warrant filed 3 days later on March 17th, an FBI agent wrote, I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed the crime of murder, and evidence of that can be found on his property. The agent also writes, based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability of knowledge of the crime. Logan pled guilty to a new charge of being a habitual traffic violator on April 3rd, 2017. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison, a sentence that would eventually be reduced to home detention. The search warrant application reveals never before discussed details about the crime scene and how the girls were found. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene, the FBI agent wrote. The warrant also reveals 2 articles of clothing from one of the girls was missing from the crime scene, while the rest of their clothing was recovered. It also appears that the girls' bodies were moved and staged. Logan was never publicly named a suspect in Abby and Libby's murders. He's not been charged in the case. He died January 24th, 2022. Okay, so that's that. Now, how did he die? Let's see. Okay. How did he die? Okay, it says, Ron Logan died today, secondary to a battle with COVID-19. He was taken off of a respirator. And I said, may he rest in peace on behalf of the entire community. We send our love and thoughts to his family and friends. Okay. So that solves that, right? Here's something else. On day 10 of the Delphi murder trials, video evidence of Richard Allen's interview with the police was seen in court for the first time. It was also the first time the court heard the voice of Allen, the man facing multiple counts of murder in the February 2017 deaths of Abby and Libby. On October 13, 2022, Allen met with the Indiana State Police at the ISP post in Lafayette. He was interviewed by former Delphi Police Chief Steve Mullins and Carroll County Sheriff Tony Leggett. "We just want to figure out what you saw when you were out there," said Leggett to Allen. "You told Dan Dullen with DNR in February of 2017 that you parked at the old welfare office between 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Dullen took Allen's first statement in 2017, and they discussed how Allen was on the trail on February 13th, the day the girls went missing. Portions of the interview with Mullen also showed Allen joking and laughing with investigators about being in the 50 Club, as he recently turned 50 years old at that time. He discussed family history and his health history and how he had a heart attack and a few stints, as well as suffered from depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Allen said he worked at the CVS in Delphi since 2013, and before that he'd been a store manager at Walmart. On February 13, 2017, Allen told police he had visited his mother near Peru, Indiana. He believed he left around 11 to 11:15, and then he went home. He said it was warmer than usual, so he grabbed a jacket and went to the Monon High Bridge trails. Allen said he walked down to the bridge around noon, said he walked out a little way on the bridge to see if he could see any fish in the water below the bridge. "I like fishing," he told police. Allen said he sat down for a few minutes and then he left. He tried to remember where he parked that day, but he could not say for certain. Really, he couldn't remember where he parked? My goodness. Regarding his first interview with authorities in 2017, Allen said he went to the Carroll County Sheriff's Office to provide the tip of seeing 3 girls on the trail. When an officer called to discuss the tip, Allen said he was headed to the grocery store. Allen paused and apologized, saying, "Forgive me, it's been years. I've thought about it a lot." He said he left the trails around 1:30 to 1:45 p.m. on February 13th, but added that he forgot the timing, really. Allen again told the police that he remembered seeing 3 girls at the trailhead and remembered seeing 2 vehicles at the farmer's entrance. He couldn't remember what the exact cars were, but he said it could have been an SUV or a sedan. As the interview of Allen's interaction with police played in the courtroom, Allen nodded in agreement. On the videotape of the interview, Leggett asked Allen how he got to the bridge after he parked. Allen said he walked along the road. Allen said he remembered seeing cars parked at the Mears entrance, but he said he was focused on trading stocks during his walk. I was watching that stock ticker, remember? "I like to trade stocks, just trying to get rich." Allen couldn't recall exactly what he was wearing that day, but said he was wearing blue jeans and likely a Carhartt jacket. Now, did they ever check his trading account to see if he was logged into the account at that time? Or if he traded any stocks at that time? I don't know. Allen couldn't recall exactly what he was wearing that day, but said he was wearing blue jeans and likely a Carhartt jacket, tennis shoes, or military-style combat boots. He said in 2017 his jacket would have been black. "I have sweatshirts, hoodies, I have a little bit of everything," he said. Investigators then asked Richard Allen if they could examine his phone, and Allen said, "How long would you have my phone?" Mullen read Allen the phone rights, to which Allen responded, "I'm not going to be somebody's fall guy. I was trying to be helpful. It honestly amazes me we're even talking. I don't want to be somebody's fall guy. This doesn't feel like a conversation. It seems like you think I've done this." Leggett told Allen that they were just crossing T's and dotting I's. The video played in court showing Allen prepared to give his phone to the police, but he pulls it back and says he needs to talk to his wife first. I don't want to be associated with this thing any more than everyone else does, Allen said. Allen said he didn't want police looking at the websites he had visited. The former Delphi police chief began pressing Allen by saying that his phone would help. We're here because you haven't found the guy who did this, said Allen. I don't want to become that guy. I had nothing to do with it. On October 26, 2022, an interview prior to Allen's arrest, Indiana State investigator Jerry Holman interviewed Allen on October 26th. Portions of that interview were played for the jury. In the video, Holman started to build rapport with Allen. They discussed guns and Allen's military background. Holman asked if Allen had guns or knives when he walked the Monon High Bridge in February. Allen denied that he did. Holman then told Allen the ISP crime lab had results suggesting otherwise. Allen laughed and said, "No, they don't." In the video, Holman showed Allen pictures of the Winchester .40 Smith & Wesson cartridge found at the crime scene. He said, "You can look at that at the date here." Allen said he didn't need to read it. "This is ridiculous," he said. The video shows Allen denying any wrongdoing dozens of times. "I don't even know how that got out there. There is no way. I am telling you that's not true. It's not my round," he was heard to say. Holman told Allen the death penalty could be on the line. "I don't really care about living at this point. Kill me. I don't give an F. Go ahead. Kill me. You'll make my wife rich. I've been dealing with wanting to die for years." Holman told Allen he had been the last person to contact Abby and Libby. Allen again denied knowing them or ever interacting with them. The inside of Allen's mouth was swabbed for DNA. ISP investigators without any pushback from Allen. Holman continued to press Allen for a confession, telling Allen that the ball was in his court. Allen responded, "You just took my DNA," and then he seemed to laugh in disbelief. ISP told Allen's experts point to him as being the man referred to as the bridge guy. "They didn't see me near the girls or anyone else because it didn't happen," said Allen. "I don't care how stressed out I get. I'm not going to say I did something to something I didn't effing do." When asked about coming forward with information, Allen said he gave a statement to police the same day they asked for the tips from the public in 2017. "There is no way possible a round from my gun ended up at the murder scene, so something is wrong," said Allen. "I'm not going to sit here all day and try to convince you that I didn't do something. You guys are trying to trick me into saying something." Holman left the interview room and came back with a photo of a bullet that had been found at Allen's home in a keepsake box. It had been found when the police executed a search warrant. In the video, Holman could be seen and heard giving Allen his theory. He told Allen, "I believe the girls said something to you. You told them down the hill, then racked your gun to scare them." "This is ridiculous. I'm not going to keep repeating myself," Allen said. Allen also denied knowing the property owner, Ron Logan. Logan owns the property where the bodies of the girls were found near Deer Creek. "You and I know that evidence doesn't lie," said Holman. "Clearly it does," responded Allen. During the recorded police interview, ISP told Allen his wife Kathy believed the evidence. Allen responded, "I didn't do anything. I didn't murder 2 girls. I didn't help anyone kill 2 girls. I didn't scheme. Whatever you said, I was in no way involved in murdering 2 little girls." His wife Kathy entered the interview room where they hugged and kissed. Kathy was crying. Allen tried to reassure her he was innocent. At one point, she asked him how the bullet from his gun got out there, and Alan said he didn't know. As the video of their interaction played in court, Alan looked back at his wife and winked at her. "You know me," he could be heard saying. Alan continued to tell Kathy he didn't do it and not to worry about him. Holman's demeanor changed. He became heated and started to cuss at Alan. Alan became more reserved. He asked if his wife could leave, and then he kissed her. Holman told Kathy to tell her husband to do the right thing. That's when Alan got upset. "You're going to pay for what you've done in my life. If you want to F with me, you can F with me, but leave my wife out of this." Holman screamed at Alan, "You killed those effing girls. I know you did." Alan said he was done talking and told Holman to arrest him. He pushed his arms forward for Holman to arrest him. "Happy to. You're effing guilty and I'm going to prove it," said Holman. The prosecution and defense agreed to allow the judge to read the transcription of the rest of the video that was not played in the court. The portion contained Richard Allen being arrested for the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. After the lunch break, the state called the former Westville Correctional Facility warden John Gallipo to the stand to testify. Allen was transported to Westville Correctional Facility in Westville under a safekeeping order October of 2022. The state's website describes WCU as a portion of the prison that holds 110 maximum security inmates assigned to long-term restricted housing, plus 110 inmates in disciplinary segregation. Defense attorney Brad Rossi explained it as a prison within the prison. Gallipo discussed Allen's cell, a padded isolation cell in the WCU. The WCU houses maximum security inmates and those being held away from the general population. He said that there were cameras inside Richard Allen's cell that were always pointed at him. Allen was given a suicide companion who was assigned to watch Allen's cell and check on him. And Allen's demeanor changed while he was housed. Gallipo said Allen's demeanor changed when he was housed at WCU. The suicide companions would keep a log of any behavior or words that Allen spoke. Gallipo testified inmates used to be companions, but now detention deputies are responsible. During Allen's stay at WCU, Gallipo said he received a note from Allen stating that he wanted to confess to the murders of Abby and Libby and to tell their families he was sorry. "I am ready to officially confess for killing Abby and Libby. I hope I get the opportunity to tell the families I'm sorry," he wrote. A total of 8 detention deputies also testified to dozens of accounts where Allen allegedly confessed to the murders. Those confessions included the accounts where Allen said he killed Williams and German, said he wanted to apologize to the girls' families. None of the confessions were videotaped or recorded. All of them were written accounts of what Allen said to deputies assigned to monitor Allen's behavior and log what he told them. The cross-examination by the defense focused on Allen's mental capabilities during his time in prison. Many witnesses testified to self-destructive behavior, including banging his head on the wall, defecating in his hand, covering his body and face with feces, and smearing it on the cell walls. They said he paced back and forth in his room and even drank his toilet bowl water. Defense attorney Brad Rossi suggested multiple times that Allen was eating his own feces. Well, Ethan Drang had been with the Department of Corrections facility for 2.5 years. He testified that he was assigned to sit in front of Allen's door and write suicide companion reports. He said that Allen confessed and slipped an envelope under the door asking to speak to the warden. He said the note inside the envelope was him writing to the warden that he wanted to confess and tell the victims' families that he was sorry. Drang also testified that Allen said, I think coming to prison cleared my depression and anxiety. Officer Michael Clemens was another suicide companion of Alan's, and he was tasked with documenting Alan's interactions every 15 minutes. He documented confessions from Alan such as, I, Richard Matthew Allen, killed Abby and Libby all by myself. Nobody helped me. Clemens also wrote down a number of things Alan said in April of 2022. I'm so glad nobody gave up on me after I killed Abby and Libby. I am ready to confess. I don't want to die. I am not crazy. I am only acting like I am crazy. During cross-examination, one of Alan's defense attorneys asked Clemens if Alan said how they were killed. Clemens said no, he didn't say anything specific. Next to the stand was Michael Roberts. He too was a detentions deputy assigned as a suicide companion for Alan while at Westville. Roberts read aloud to the jury some of the things he had heard Alan say while looking over him. Dear Lord, forgive me for molesting Abby, Libby, and Chris. Dear Lord, forgive me for molesting Abby, Libby, Chris, and Kevin. I want to confess I know a lot more. What more do I got to do? I killed Abby and Libby. My wife wasn't involved. I would like to confess. Can I talk? Can you listen? I killed Abby and Libby. How do I prove I'm sane? Why are you doing this? Do you know God? Why now? I killed Abby and Libby. I'll take some KFC. My grandpa molested me. Do I make you mad? Have I told you about my wife? I killed Abby and Libby. God, I am sorry for wasting your time. I swear I never cheated on a cigarette. I thought I was eating pizza. Roberts testified that Alan was hitting his head on the wall for a long period of time while in his cell. He even testified that Alan's face was swollen from this and bruised in some places. While testifying, Roberts shared that the other inmates who previously served as companions were spreading his words like wildfire. He believed Alan accepted his fate. Roberts shared that Alan was seen running in place in his cell for several seconds at a time and was even rolling on the ground. Detention Deputy James Early was the next to the stand, and he served as a suicide companion and testified to a number of things he wrote on a log sheet recounting Alan's words and behaviors. Alan was pacing back and forth. I'm ready to confess. Then he said he swore that he killed Abby and Libby. F me, running. I am ready to take the test. F. Ready to confess. Alan drank his toilet water and hot sauce. He appeared to urinate on his mat. Alan talking at the door about himself and Kathy. He can be heard mumbling about being a sex addict. Alan is awake, mimicking Officer Early's movements. He is asking random questions. Can I confess to the warden and Dr. Walla? I'm already dead. Early testified that Alan appeared to be quiet and non-confrontational when he first got to Westville. He described him as looking like a deer in the headlights. However, Early stated that his behavior got bizarre. Alan, he said, began drinking out of the toilet. He testified to Alan harming himself with a spork and covered himself in feces. Early said he was not warned of any mental health issues with Richard Allen and thought, hold on, this just unloaded. Hold on. I don't even think we heard this whole thing the first time we went through this. He also testified. Wait a minute. He also testified to Alan harming himself with a spork and covered himself in feces. Early said He was not warned of any mental health issues with Richard Allen and thought he was perfectly normal. The defense team pressed Early, asking about how he determines if someone is crazy. He said, "It's really a case-by-case basis." When asked if he would agree that those conditions at Westville could be detrimental to someone's mental health, he replied yes. Early went on to say, "I think anyone under that prolonged environment, it could make them have some issues." Detention Deputy John Miller testified as to what he remembered Richard Allen saying while being on Suicide Companion. Miller read the Suicide Companion log with the following submission he wrote. Allen told him, "I killed Abby and Libby. The funniest joke is how I killed them. I got what I deserved for what I did." He said he hoped he burned in hell for what he did. He said, "I'm sorry for what I did for killing them." Miller said Allen was crying when he said that. "I'm sorry for killing those kids. I only killed them to give my family more time to live." Miller also testified that Allen appeared to be respectful and normal when he first got to Westville. He said around March, Allen began refusing meals. Miller said he would pace in his cell and mumble a lot. Miller testified that he believed Allen was orchestrating his behavior and planning it out. Next to the stand was Brandon Fisher. He was also a detention deputy at Westville Correctional Facility who acted as a suicide companion. Fisher shared a number of his observations. Okay, let's see. Fisher said Allen requested to speak to the warden to confess that he was guilty twice. "I killed 2 girls in Delphi with a box cutter that I stole from the CVS and threw it in the trash. I want to write a confession. I killed Abby and Libby." Allen continues to say he killed Abby and Libby and AR'd them. "The girls were screaming when I killed them." Allen is pretending he is living in medieval times. Fisher said he also noticed that Allen was banging his head against the wall and it created a small gash. He also testified that it was his belief Allen was putting on an act because that he had spoken to him on several occasions and he had never had any major issues with Allen. Fisher believed Allen was being truthful when he confessed. During cross-examination, Fisher said, however, admit that he can't tell He admitted that he couldn't tell if someone is mentally ill by looking at their eyes. He also agreed with the defense when asked if someone like Richard Allen was being locked up for days, weeks, months on end, would that be detrimental to his mental health? And he agreed. The next detention deputy to take the stand was Raymond Smith. He said final suicide companion to testify. He was the final suicide companion to testify what he heard Richard Allen say while being observed. Allen repeated, "Kathy," several times and was running into his door. "Kathy, I did it. I'm guilty. Run, Kathy, run. If I effed those girls, I effed those girls. If I killed those girls, I killed them. My name is Richard Matthew Allen of the National Guard." Allen then began singing "God Bless America." Allen stuffed papers into his toilet. "I killed those girls, so I have to kill myself." Smith did admit that he wasn't sure of Allen's mental state while he was at WCU. The deputy shared that Allen was polite and slept a lot more than others when he first started to monitor him. Smith testified that other offenders in WCU tried to agitate Allen. He agreed that they would tell him to kill himself and called him a baby killer. The final witnesses on the stand for the day, the 10th, was detention deputy Jason Bedwell. He testified to being responsible for performing rounds on the floor and documenting what Allen is doing every 15 minutes. Bedwell shared that on an occasion he was standing at Allen's cell. He said, "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for killing those girls." He added that Allen was awake but crying and lying down when he said it. None of the deputies or the warden believed these things Allen was saying, including the 60-plus times he is reported to have confessed to the murders. They also said they thought he was sane. Recorded phone calls from Richard Allen to his family, including confessions made by Allen on the phone, are likely to be played for the court in the court for the jury to hear on Wednesday. Okay, that's a lot. All right, let me go back to where you guys are. Hello, Jenny Parsons. How are you? Hi, Carolyn. Love you. Show my husband and I love your show. My husband and I are watching from Newfoundland, Canada. Thank you for all you do. We are praying for justice for Libby and Abby. Well, thank you, Jenny Parsons. I appreciate you watching, and your husband too. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, 61. Let's see what's going on. Maureen says, I'm still on the fence, but my gut tells me Allen is guilty. There are details revealed that he is culpable. This is a very sad case. I agree, Maureen. Eric Loveless. That's so funny, Eric. You're not originally from New York, are you? My son used to know an Eric Loveless who lived in our town, but I don't know if you're the same Eric Loveless. Okay. Hi, Carolyn. My wife and I are watching from Newfoundland. We love your show. Praying for justice for Abby and Libby. Thank you, Eric. Hi, easily distracted. Cheers to you, too. Debbie retracted her message. Maureen said, I just retired this year. I'm a retired RN, so thankfully I can look out my window at the beautiful snow. No worries about getting into work. Where are you, Maureen? Are you in Newfoundland, too? You're having storms over there. I know, Hi. You know it's bad when you get stuck just simply pulling out of your driveway. Maureen, LOL, driving in the snow sucks, especially in a small car. Well, I hope the snow holds off for a little bit, okay? Because I have a trip coming up, and I hope it holds off a little bit. I love snow. It looks really beautiful. I've always hated driving in it. Yeah. You used to have a friend with that name, Mullen. Did you? Okay. All right, so let's see. So, anything else? I think eventually he will be found guilty. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. All right, about tomorrow. Okay, I want to do 2 polls. I wish I could do them at the same time, but I can't. So the first poll is going to be, do you think the jury will reach a verdict tomorrow? That's going to be the first poll. So you can do that. I'm going to look at some more stuff, and then we'll come back and look at that and see what's going on, okay? Oh boy. I want to pull this over here. Okay, so it says that a wild Delphi murder theory resurfaces as the ex-girlfriend of former person of interest Ron Logan insists that he's the killer. Now, this was reported on February 21st of 2024. The ex-girlfriend of the former Delphi murder's person of interest has insisted that he killed the 2 girls in 2017. Ron Logan was investigated by police after the bodies of Abby Williams, 13, and Libby German, 14, were discovered 1,400 feet away from his Indiana home. On February 13th, okay, we know that. Let's see. Years before Richard Allen was arrested, police looked into Ron Logan, who matched the appearance of a shadowy figure that was captured in the Snapchat footage taken by the girls. Investigators believe that the person took part in the murders and urged the public to look out for anyone who matched the description. After questioning Logan, detectives determined that he wasn't involved and no charges were filed. On Tuesday, his ex-girlfriend, Connie Dillman, claimed that Logan was absolutely the killer and that the Snapchat video proves it. "That's your voice," she said of Logan in an episode of Crime Nation, a docuseries that airs on the CW network. "I heard the voice of Down the Hill thousands of times. It's Ron Logan." Dillman said she first met Logan at a bar, and they dated for 6 years. They connected over shared interests, but their relationship took a turn after he started controlling her life and using her as a tool for sex. At one point, when she tried to leave him, he struck her over the head with a wrench, and she had to get 6 stitches. "When I didn't want to have sex, he forced it on me," she said. "I was helpless." Soon after their relationship ended, Dillman heard about Libby and Abby's death and immediately got the sinking feeling that he was the killer. In the documentary, a wild theory on how the girls were murdered was revealed after the producers reportedly got their hands on materials that were leaked from Allen's attorney's office. Someone who worked for the public defender's office, Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rossi, shared graphic pictures of the murder scene online in October, leading them to step down from the case. In the materials, an expert source claimed that little Libby was found nearly decapitated. However, the information has yet to be confirmed by officials who have purposefully hidden information regarding the crime scene. The case update comes as a former FBI agent who oversaw the case exclusively spoke about the second potential suspect. Prosecutors have pleaded to keep Allen's now released arrest affidavit secret, as they believe the details could cause another suspect to make efforts to hide themselves from law enforcement. Ex-FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Keenan said unsealing the documents may have sacrificed the integrity of the investigation. It could be one person, it could be 2 people, it could be 3, we don't know. But if they have any concrete leads and that others played a part, you don't want to give that person or those people an opportunity to destroy evidence or flee. They clearly didn't want someone reading that affidavit. There's no mention of another suspect, but it still doesn't mean that they don't have evidence of another suspect, because not all evidence needs to be shared in a probable cause affidavit. 2 podcasters who have revealed key information on the Delphi case compared the evidence as an ink blot test for the jury. A bombshell filing made by the now defunct defense case argued that there was evidence out there that proved the murders were part of a sacrificial killing made by a Nordic cult. However, let's see here. I think anything is possible at this point. Let me see. Connie Dillman. So what about that Connie Dillman saying that he did this? Okay, let's see where that is. Okay, so it says that this poll says 59% say there'll be a verdict tomorrow, and 41% say no. So let's. Sad that the girls, but they were chatting with someone online, that they would meet up at the park. So that's the end of that poll. Now we're going to do another poll. Majority said a verdict tomorrow. Let's see what that'll be, right? Okay. There's the other poll. Okay, so you agree with Kevin at Maureen Gunn. My husband loves his retirement at the steel mill and retired in 2017. Wow, he retired in 2017, the same time as these murders. That's interesting, Scooter. I could swear when I knew you that Dave was still watching, and didn't he get a watch as a gift from the railroad? Or that might have been another friend of mine whose husband worked for the railroad. I think I have you mixed up with somebody else. Okay, never mind. Oh my goodness. Let's see what this says. Guilty, we have 50%. I'm going to just pull this down so I can see it. Guilty, we have 50%. Acquittal, 25%. A hung jury, 25%. Now, yesterday when we took this, we ended up with it was a third set each thing. It was split in thirds, basically. Five new members tonight. Welcome. Okay, 56 guilty, 22 acquittal, 22 hung jury. So now our poll is shifting. We're getting a higher percentage of guilty votes, but we still have to have more people vote. So if you see the poll, you need to vote. Debbie Two Scooter, did you vote? Kevin, did you vote? Maureen Gunn, did you vote? Or people from Nova Scotia, did you vote? Newfoundland. Rough and Ready, did you vote? Margot, did you vote? Debbie D, did you vote? High 61, did you vote? It's getting closer now. 42% say guilty. 25 acquittal. 33 hung jury. Get the votes in. Get the votes in. Lil Lighty, you voted. Good. You voted. Changed your vote. Okay. Paint it black. You voted. Good. High 61 voted. Come on, guys. Get your votes in. 58% say guilty. 16% acquittal. 25% hung jury. 58, 16, 26. Kevin Leonard says, I think the jury is having a hard time getting there with everything that's went on with this case. White Angels said, now that's interesting. Somebody voted and changed their vote. If it happens in a place like this, imagine Happens in real life with the jurors. Well, they can change their vote right up until the final countdown. Debbie says, of course I voted. Come on, come on, come on. Let's vote. We need more votes out there, people. We have 55 guilty, acquittal 20, hung jury 25. Easily distracted says, I think he was set up, but I could be wrong. Why do you think they would have set him up? Why would they set up Richard Allen? Easily distracted. I'm interested to know why and who. Carolyn has her school teacher voice going now. I don't have my school teacher voice going now. I have my, like, I'm losing my voice, and I don't know why. Happened to me the other day, too. No, Kevin. Can the judge override a jury decision? No. That wouldn't be very good, would it? Wouldn't the jury feel like, well, great, thanks. I'm really happy that I spent 4 weeks here and you just overrode it. Come on, Kevin. Kevin. Look at Scooter. No, Kevin. Yeah, we don't have all the facts. What we know out here is it's very messy. Messy. Okay. Now we have 50% guilty, 23% acquittal, 27% hung jury. I can't wait. I shouldn't take another. Like, I just want this to be over, right? You just want them to come. It's like so freaking nerve-wracking. But if Scott Peterson really went 9 days to a guilty verdict, you know, who knows? Who knows? It is, right? It is. Let's see what's going on here. What's going on here? Okay. Reba. Hi, Reba. How are you? Thank you, Reba. I appreciate that. Easily Distracted said the police conference when they arrested him just had something very off about it in my gut. The treatment in jail, isolated for too long, pressure to confess, I haven't followed closely. Okay. Oh, it's Mama. Hi, Mama. Painted black. All right. We really need you to get those votes in. I see you, little lighty. They're scared to lock in their votes, little lighty. It's crazy. Check Article 2, Section 3, subsection A. Jones versus Jones. And Idaho, what is that? What are you telling me? Penal Code Law Book number 3. Easily distracted. And everything in start of case seemed to be dropped, and now it's Alan. Hi, Historic Publishing. How are you? Absolutely not guilty. When you take into account how secretive this trial has been, in addition to the judge leaning to, hold on a minute, Historic, I'm trying to say, leaning to, where are you? Oh, gosh. Leaning to the state. Let's see if this stands true. I agree with easily distracted, hands down. Okay, Historic, I appreciate that. Right now we have guilty, 43%. Little lady is scared. Why is little lady scared? Little lady's not scared. Why is she scared? She's a chicken? Why'd she put a chicken over there? Maureen voted, still hard to decide. I would not want to be on that jury. Not impressed with the judge. Yeah, well, it's hard to know much because we can't see much at all, which is hard for a lot of us. Come on, peeps, please get those votes in. Please get the votes in, peeps. Tomorrow is Monday. Hello, how are MRB? You still have a classy operation. Nice to be here. You know us, Historic. We're always trying to keep it classy. It's a little bit sassy. But we don't try to do anything half-assy. Okay. The judge has been letting out a lot of things. All right. Let's see. So it's very different from just yesterday when we took this poll. We have a higher preponderance saying guilty. We have a lower percentage of acquittals. We have about the same in the hung jury. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? It is very interesting. All right, what I'm going to do to wind down, well, before we wind down, I haven't looked at any other things happening in the world, so let's just take a look if there's anything. I know that there's a lot of brush fires even happening in New Jersey by like Greenwood Lake and everything. It's terrible. We just finally got some rain tonight. I think we're going to have some rain tomorrow and the next day. It's much needed in the area. They say like everything is like a tinderbox. That's what they were comparing everything. Okay, let's see. Oh, I remember what that trial was, Kevin, that I wanted to watch. It's the au pair. She pled guilty to manslaughter in the plot to frame. Oh my gosh, that's the trial I told you that I wanted to watch and that she pled guilty and I couldn't remember it the other day. Well, I remember it now and I couldn't find anything about it. Well, yeah, here, you guys remember this, right? I hope that you remember this. That a Brazilian au pair pled guilty to manslaughter last month and agreed to cooperating with authorities against her IRS agent lover in a complicated double murder plot to frame a man for the murder of the agent's wife. Juliana Perez Magalhaes entered the guilty plea October 29th, ending the case against her that began with the deaths of Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan on February 24th of 2023. That was the day that Juliana told investigators she left Herndon, Virginia home of Brandon and Christine Banfield, where she lived as an au pair, at about 7:30 a.m. to take the couple's 4-year-old daughter to the National Zoo. She turned around and went back, and she said she did that because she had forgotten their lunches, and that's when she saw a strange car in the driveway. She said she tried to call Christine, but she didn't answer, so she called Brandon, who was already on his way to work. He rushed back home, and the two entered a second-floor suite where they said they found a stranger had attacked Christine, stabbing her multiple times. Brandon shot the stranger with his service weapon, but he was still alive. So he told Juliana to go get another gun from the gun safe in the bathroom so they could shoot him again. She did, and she shot the man, later identified as Joseph Ryan, in the chest. Detectives began investigating, and they discovered that Ryan, 39, had been contacted by Christine Banfield, or someone pretending to be her, through a sex fetish website. But friends and family say the communications they found in Banfield's name did not match up with Christine Banfield that they knew, leading detectives to wonder if someone other than Banfield had set up the meeting between her and Ryan. Detectives eventually arrested Juliana in October of 2023 on charges of second-degree murder and the use of a firearm in a felony. Prior to the arrest, they returned to the scene and found photos of Brendan and the au pair in the bedroom that Banfield once shared with his wife, as well as Juliana's lingerie. Juliana denied at the time they were having an affair. Juliana remained behind bars, but eventually her relationship with Banfield began to sour, and in September of this year, after a long-awaited blood spatter analysis showed that someone had smeared Christine's blood on the body of Ryan, Brandon Banfield was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. On Tuesday, 2 weeks before she was to go on trial, Juliana agreed to plead guilty to manslaughter. Prosecutors say Juliana and Banfield conspired to lure Ryan to the house with the purpose to frame him for Christine Banfield's murder, and that in the days leading up to the incident, Juliana had expressed a desire to back out of it. Her sentencing has been delayed until after Banfield's trial, so he's going to go on trial, which I want to watch unless he takes a plea deal too. I don't know. But, wow, that is some craziness, right? That's at least I remember now the case. Trying to look at what else is going on here. Two Minnesota families. Quadruple murder suicide. What the heck? Oh my gosh, that scared me. I can't stand these stupid ads. They drive me insane. They just kind of start playing out of freaking nowhere. Okay, sorry. I have a startle thing. A Minnesota man killed himself last week after he gunned down, there it goes again, after he gunned down his ex-wife and his 2 children. The Duluth police were asked to conduct a welfare check Thursday at a home in West Duluth, where they found the bodies of 47-year-old Aaron Abramson, where's Anthony? They just start talking about Anthony, but they don't tell us. Anthony Nephews. His name, I thought Anthony Nephews. That's his actual name. That's a very confusing name to have, right? I'm going out with Anthony Nephews. You mean Anthony's nephew? No, I mean Anthony Nephews. Okay, never mind. Anthony Nephew's ex-wife and their 15-year-old son, Jacob Nephew. Police went to the nephew's home about a mile away and found the bodies of his current wife, 45-year-old Catherine Cat Ramsland, and their 7-year-old son, Oliver Nephew. Okay, so this guy killed his ex-wife and his 15-year-old son that he had with the ex-wife. Then he killed his current wife and their 7-year-old son, Oliver Nephew. Then he killed himself. Nephew's body was found at that home with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police are studying cell phone data, said Police Chief Mike Sainoa. Said that Nephew was known to struggle with mental illness and said that officers had been called to his home in the past over such issues. Nephew frequently posted about his struggles on social media and had written a column in the Duluth News Tribune in 2021 about the need for better care for people who suffer from mental illnesses. Because they have to, because they're told to, or because they don't realize their mind is broken, they keep pushing forward, incurring one psychic injury after another, trauma after trauma, collecting interest until finally the synapses overload and they suffer a breakdown, he wrote in the newspaper. For most of us, that's the best end result. For millions of Americans, a breakdown leads to suicide or homicide before suicide. Abramson worked for the Environmental Services Division of the City of Superior, and her son, Jacob, was a student at the Marshall School, where he was part of the orchestra, Knowledge Bowl team, Nordic ski team, and the chess club. Ramsland taught art at Lake Superior College. Her son, Oliver, was a first grader at Rock Ridge Academy. That's terrible. Oh boy. Wow, a 14-year-old boy. I'm not going to get into that one. Two kids dead after a stolen car speeds through a red light and slams into their vehicle. Okay, so, I mean, we've done a lot with, there was one other thing I just wanted to go to, which I think I'm just going to do this one about Kentucky. This guy's smiling in his mugshot. Looks like he's proud. A Kentucky man has been arrested and charged with killing his mother and setting her house on fire. Joseph Fulton, 43, was arrested Friday night after firefighters responded to a fire at Mary Fulton's home in Wayne County that morning. Fulton lived at the home with his 64-year-old mother. According to the Kentucky State Police, who say that she was not there when emergency responders answered the fire call. They found the body of Mary Fulton after extinguishing the blaze. State police said Fulton reportedly made statements claiming he shot his mother and set the house on fire, although they did not say to whom he made those statements. Fulton was arrested at about 8:30 p.m. Friday night and charged with murder and arson. Wow. Okay. One more. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that stupid ad. It drives me crazy. Okay. 11-year-old boy finds his parents' bodies after they murdered each other. A Washington State couple killed each other on Halloween night, and their 11-year-old son made a gruesome discovery. This is what I mean about kids that are just, can you imagine? A 911 call brought medics and police to the Longview home just after 6 p.m., said the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office. They found Juan Antonio Alvarado Sanz, 38 years old, and Cecilia Robles Ochoa, 39, with serious injuries in the kitchen. They were pronounced dead at the scene. The 11-year-old boy was the only other person at the home at the time, and he was in another room playing video games with earbuds. And when he went into the kitchen, he found his parents and he called 911. Witnesses told investigators the couple had relationship troubles and they had been planning to separate. Autopsies determined that Alvarado Sanz died from multiple stab wounds to the chest, and Robles Ochoa died from a gunshot and stab wounds. Officers recovered a pistol and a knife from the scene. The gun had been stolen from Alvarado Sanz's employer, but was not discovered missing until after the dual murders. Police say the autopsy results indicated that the couple assaulted each other, but investigators were unable to determine who was the primary aggressor, even though Alvarado Sanz stole a gun. According to a GoFundMe set up by the family to pay for funerals, the couple had 3 children. So, however old the other children are, now you've got this 11-year-old, this horrific thing, and oh my gosh, it's just terrible. Terrible. Okay. With that, we're going to just stop right now, and I think we just, let me see, where are you guys? I'm going to just check that poll. Okay. Got some more votes on it. So we have guilty, 44%, acquittal, 19%, hung jury, 38%. Yes, I know, Painted Black, right? God help that child, those children, those 3 children, God help them. Amen. You thought someone barfed? No, that was an ad. Okay. We're going to do something that we do to wind down, which is just to play a daily word game. It's very quick. It's good for your mind. You can play it along. Scooter, you can play it along. I'm going to end this poll here. We got 44, 19, 38. That's quite a difference from last time. So much. Hi, Emmy. Okay. Let's see here. Gleed? Gleed. How do you gleed? Edge and edge, yeah, those were good. And then geld, yes, geld, gelded. Oh. Huh. Lead. There we go, we got it. We got it. Hi, Christine F. How are you? Hi, Christine F. How are you? How are you? Dang. What happened, High 61? What's the dang about? Sack. Rack. Racks. And then sacks. No. See, one more. I got it, I got it. 4, 5. Very good. Who got that? High 61. Very good. High 61. Very good. 61. Very good. 61. Very, very good. Why are you laughing? Because I said that you did good? Golf? Yeah, and we just need one more, which would be with an F. F. Nope. Foil. That's right. We did it. Foil. What do you got? Dread? I think I got that. I didn't have it. Cheaters are everywhere. Hi, video reel. Oh, a ruse. Yes, a ruse. A Charlotte ruse. No. Alright, that one. Shred. Very good. Her. Thought we did her. Rug. I didn't even see rug. Heart made wise. Blue. Titan. Okay. No, there's no extra G. There's no extra H. 10th. Hmm. 10th. We already did 10th. Okay. thine. To thine own self be true. Yeah. Yeah. Scooter, you don't have any very good words tonight, do you? Thought you were going to do very well. Tinge, I think I have tinge. I already do. Taint. No, we... hinge. There we go, we did it. We were a praline. Bye. We better stop, right? Because we're going to be crazy, aren't we? Inseam, inseam, inseam. I already did all those that you said there. Can we get some amens? Any amens? How about some jeans? How about a jean? Anybody sane? Give me a sign. Jasmine, the jasmine is... I tried main. I thought I did try that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. One more, guys. One more. Do we know what it is? Scooter, any guesses? I tried mines. Christine. Tried all those, Emmy. Seems. No, there's no extra. I already tried, James. It's an extra word. Oh, I thought we had means all that time. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. did it. You did it. Good job, Heart Rate Wise. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to do it too fast. And made. Command. Emu. I think we're going to stop after Emu. And we're going to go to bed. And we're going to, that's it. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for being here and watching. Thank you for participating. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. God bless. Prayers. Be good. Be kind. I'll see you later. Mundane. High 61. We'll try that one and we'll end it with mundane, which is our show is never mundane. Right? Shoot. Look at this high. I can't even get this. I'm trying to go too fast. We got it. Thank you. What a way to end the night. Oh, and then we can mend things. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a good night. Bye. Bless. Prayers. Love you.